Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. It's an incredible book, a really practical guide for reclaiming your own personal freedom by basically rewriting the rules that you live by. So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of this whole thing. Think about it. Are you living by agreements you didn't even consciously choose? Because for most of us, our beliefs about ourselves and the world, we just absorb them. They're like these unconscious contracts running our entire lives. Well, the book calls this process domestication. It's kind of like how we train a pet. From the time we're kids, our parents, our schools, our entire culture trains us. We learn what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong, all through a system of reward and punishment. And this creates this massive internal rule book, our personal book of law. And this initial programming, this domestication, while it creates these unconscious contracts, these are the rules that dictate our behavior, often without us ever even realizing they're there. And what happens is this programming literally splits our mind into two parts. First, you've got the judge. This is the voice that is constantly enforcing that book of law, always finding you guilty, telling you you're not good enough. And then there's the victim, the part of you that just takes it, that carries all the blame and the shame from that judgment. And the result of this constant inner war? We end up living in a state of fear. We waste an incredible amount of energy just fighting with ourselves before we even start our day. All because we're running an old program, one that was designed for social control, not for our own personal freedom. But what if you could rewrite that program? The book says you absolutely can. And the very first step, the most important one, is to reclaim the incredible power of your own word. The first agreement is the most important and maybe the most challenging. Be impeccable with your word. Now, impeccable literally means without sin. And a sin is defined as anything you do that goes against yourself. And this quote just nails it. Your words aren't just sounds. They are creative forces. They're literally the instructions, the programming code for your own mental operating system. How you talk to yourself, how you talk about others, it is actively creating your reality. So how do we actually do this? Here's a really powerful way to start. Shift your self-talk. Instead of attacking your identity by saying something like, I am bad at this, just describe the behavior. Try saying, I need a better system for this. See the difference? That small change stops the self-sabotage and opens the door to actually improving. Being impeccable also means stopping gossip. The book calls it a form of black magic, which is intense, but think of it like a computer virus. A negative opinion gets shared with you, it enters your mind, and it infects your perception. And then, to get some relief from that poison, you feel this urge to pass it on to someone else. Okay, so if the first agreement is all about controlling the poison we send out, the next two agreements are about building a shield. They're designed to stop us from absorbing the poison coming in from other people. The second agreement is so powerful. Don't take anything personally. I mean, this one alone can make you immune to so much emotional suffering. It's a game changer. And the logic behind it is simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Whatever anyone says or does, it's a reflection of their reality, their agreements, their dream. It's a projection of what's going on inside of them. It is almost never actually about you. And once you really, truly get that, their words can't hurt you anymore. And that leads us right into the third agreement, which is all about stopping the drama that we create inside our own heads. Don't make assumptions. You know, assumptions are really just stories we tell ourselves to fill in the blanks. We assume we know what someone else is thinking or what they need from us. Instead of doing that, have the courage to just ask questions, seek clarity. It might feel a little awkward in the moment, sure, but it avoids weeks or even months of misunderstanding. All right, that brings us to the final agreement. This is the one that really puts all the others into action. It's the ultimate antidote to all that self-punishment from our inner judge. The fourth agreement sounds beautifully simple. Always do your best. But trust me, its meaning is way deeper than it first appears. And this is the key. Your best is not some fixed, perfect standard. Your best when you're healthy and full of energy is completely different from your best when you're sick or exhausted. So this agreement isn't about grinding harder or pushing yourself to burnout. It's about giving an honest effort for whatever situation you're in. And when you do that, you give your inner judge zero ammunition. Regret and self-blame, they just kind of dissolve. Now, understanding these 4 agreements is a great first step, but the real transformation, the real freedom, only comes when you actually put them into practice. So, let's turn this whole thing into an experiment. We're going to put this into action with a simple 14-day challenge. This way, you can see for yourself just how much these agreements can completely reshape your day-to-day experience. So here's the plan. For the first 4 days, just focus on being impeccable with your word. That's it. Then, for the next 4 days, shift your focus to not taking things personally. After that, spend 3 days practicing asking questions instead of making assumptions. And for the final few days, just focus on defining and doing your best each day. The goal here is just to notice the shifts, the changes in your own inner peace and your clarity. And as you do this experiment, there are a few tools that can really help. The first 2 are the most important. Awareness. You have to be able to see the old programming as it runs. And forgiveness, which means releasing yourself from the grip of that old resentment. And a third really powerful tool is just remembering that life is short. It has a funny way of clarifying what truly matters. So we'll end on this final thought. Right now, as you're listening to this, you are already running on a set of agreements. The only question left is, were those agreements just handed down to you unconsciously? Or are you finally ready to choose them for yourself?